Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at Shadow Dagwon from the Brave Command of Dagwon series. This figure set is a one-off combiner featuring Dag Shadow, Guard Wolf, Guard Tiger and Guard Hawk, and together they would combine and form Shadow Dagwon. On the back of the box we can see that Dag Shadow has a dragon mode and a jet mode, Guard Wolf is a wolf and a robot, Guard Tiger is a tiger and a robot, and Guard Hawk is a hawk and a robot. This set also comes with the usual instructions featuring the transformations for each robot, and somewhere on there you can see there's the combination to form Shadow Dagwon, all in Korean, so apart from the pictures not a great deal of help. We also get these three cards that apparently the character uses in the TV show, so you've got Guard Tiger, Guard Wolf and Guard Hawk, and we get individual sticker sheets for each of the robots, so that would be Dag Shadow's. That's Guard Wolf, and you can see we've got some metallics on there. And again, Guard Tiger. These are actually the paws that are all metallic. And that's for Guard Hawk. And of course we get the Takara Sonokong leaflet that shows you some of the other Braves you can get. There's Gun Kid and Lion Sword. There's Shadow Dagwon there. So this is how it all comes packaged in the box. We've got Shadow Dag there. That's the front of his airplane mode. Then we got some missiles and things, Guard Wolf, Guard Tiger, Guard Hawk, the backpacks for the two beasts, Shadow Dag's sword and Guard Hawk's weapon. So for accessories then, we get these missiles, you get 4 of each colour, there's green and yellow there, and they go with Guard Wolf and Guard Tiger. I've actually got ones each in the missile launchers. These are very similar to the missiles that you've got with most of the Gold Rand series, the red missiles. And these are the 2 backpack launchers for Guard Wolf and Guard Tiger. Now these are actually friction missiles, and you've got to be careful with these because just watch this, look how far these fire out. That's it. They've got to be the most pathetic missile launchers I've ever seen in my life. Guard Wolf and Guard Tiger also come with a gun each, and they are identical. We get this weapon for Guard Hawk, and this is pretty poor as weapons go. You can sort of form a star out of it. You can't really spin it in his hand because it just bangs into things. Not very impressive as a weapon. It also forms the tail of the bird as well. And for Shadow Dagwon we get this rather poor looking sword. It's very flexible, not very big, and the colour of it's pretty hideous. And also for Dag Shadow, this is the front that's going to form the nose cone of his jet mode. Turn it over, it forms the dragon's tail. It's got a little bit there, if you can get hold of it. That forms a little handle so you can put it in his hand. And you can use this as a shuriken firing weapon. And this is actually quite successful. They just clip in there. And then you would push that forward. And they fly for miles, those things. They're pretty good. Or alternatively, you can stick it on his back and use it as a sheath to put the sword in. And finally we come to the shuriken. These have got to be the cheapest accessories I've ever seen. You see that white bit there? That's because these have been spray painted. I have never ever seen that on anything before like that. That is just so cheap. I mean, that's where they held it when they spray painted it. Normally at least you'd get them moulded in coloured plastic. I mean, it's not like they haven't used yellow plastic on this set already. Okay, so let's start with Guard Wolf and Guard Tiger. Now these are the smallest parts of the set, and they're probably the most successful as far as animal modes go. They at least look like what they're supposed to, although you don't see many green wolves. The Tiger is a little bit more successful. These chrome pieces, they're not chrome pieces, they're stickers. Unfortunately, you can see underneath where the sticker meets the plastic. You can see arms there right at the front, and there's obviously a fist shoved up the back there. When you move his tail, that brings the fist out. Same on both of these. The mouths do open, which is quite astounding really. I'll show you the one on the wolf. Loads of screws on one side, not too bad on the other side. And again, oh, his fist stays put on that one, but you can move the tail about. The legs do actually move as well, so you've got full articulation as far as that goes. Also in this mode we can attach their cannons. Now these cannons have 2 attachments. You've got these tabs there which are closer together than these tabs there. For the animal mode you use the furthest apart, and they just clip in like that. And now we've got a whacking great cannon on his back, and the same for this guy. And I'm missing his missile there, so we'll stick that in. Now for the transformation on these guys, it's very, very simple, as you would expect. We actually drag them apart like that, and they do have a twist in the waist there, which is quite surprising for this type of robot. Get rid of the tail, leave that for now. Now these legs just going to move up, and that's looking very G1 combiner already. That stays at the top, and with these bits we can get the arms out. They go up the back like shoulders, and then finally for his head, you just got to clip that up. He does have a very large chest piece there, big hole in the top, big holes at the back, but you can cover up the back bit by attaching with the larger of the two pegs into there. We get him straight, and then you can take that cannon, bring it over the top. And for Guard Wolf, his transformation is exactly the same. Split him apart, move the legs up and out the way, and the tail, and then pull his arms out, flip them around, and then pop out his head at the top. And again we've got the backpack, and we just got to straighten the back up a bit to get that on there, like that. That's it. Pop his head back out, bring this daft cannon over the top of his head, and there you go, that's Guard Wolf and Guard Tiger. And I did mention they come with a gun each, so we'll put them in the hands. Very, very basic guns, and they are both exactly the same. And that's about it as far as them two go. Okay, so next up we've got Guard Hawk, and if you thought the others were bad, you haven't seen anything yet. This has got to be the least convincing bird mode I've ever seen. Just look at the state of that. We've got robot head there. We've got hands sticking out the back. The wings aren't bad, they move out like that, and you can move them up and down. If you move this neck forward, that head pops out. If you open his beak, there's another face in there. This is really, really poor. And to top it all off, this thing is meant to be his tail, and you stick that on there. And doesn't that just look so realistic now? Okay, for his robot mode, let's get rid of that. Now what do we do here then? First off, we straighten all that out, bring them forward, and look at that, we're nearly there. Now this bit gets a little bit cleverer, where we need to bring that round like that. Now it doesn't actually push all the way into that recess, but what that does allow you to do is tuck it into that hole there, and we clip that back down like that, pull out this little face, and try and sort that head out. And that's pretty much it for his robot mode. We have his weapon, and that will fit in his hand. But again, this is pretty unsuccessful. You either chop himself in the face, or he chops that little knob off that he's got there. So next up we have the team leader, Dag Shadow. This guy isn't too bad. He is a triple changer, so we are going to have some weird looking bits to him. But compared to the others, this is leagues beyond them. So these little shurikens you can stick in his shoulders if you want to, or what you can do at the back here, if you lift that out, there's actually a hole there, so you can put that in, and that's meant to be the sheath to carry the sword on his back. It doesn't look too great really. And then we can give him his sword, and that holds in his hand fairly well. He's got a little bit of articulation, you can move that arm up and down. He's got an elbow joint, and his head turns, and that's about it. This guy's obviously got a bit of ninja style going on with the sword like that, and you can see these leg patterns there, very reminiscent of Surakagi from Goldoran. Obviously a dragon on his back. That does actually work better if you get rid of that. You can fold that all in a little bit more nicer than it was. This head does turn. You can actually move it up and down a bit, but you've got this huge gap there. That's mainly for the transformation. So that's it for robot mode. So let's take him to his jet mode, I think, next. So we get rid of that sword. Now what we do here is we bring out these paws, and then we've got to collapse them up. So they go up by his sides like that. Then we take his head and spin it around, and what that does, it falls up into there and out the way. On the top we move this dragon head, just put that flat like that. These legs actually fold in like that. Push these feet out of the way. Then these little gold bits are actually meant to go up like that. That's a little bit tough to get hold of. There we go. Now these fins, these are a little bit delicate. What I found is easiest, you move them all up and then bring one down. So the same on the other side, move it all up and bring one down. And that just stops you putting too much pressure on there. So that pretty much is our jet mode. Yep, that's about it. And then this bit sticks on the front like that. No, we're not quite there yet. What we've got to do is lift that bit up, bring that around, and then spin that around like that. And we can put that back where it was. So we've got them bits tucked away under the wings now. And that is about as jet-like as it's going to get. You'll notice the wings are actually shorter than the tail fins. And just looking at that, it doesn't look very aerodynamic to me. Look at the size of the back of it. It does have some boosters on the back, so that's obviously going to make all the difference. And it's got a dragon's head on the top, big gaps in it. Not the greatest of jet modes, but it's okay. Oh, we've got to put that down as well, that would look a little bit better. So from there on to dragon mode. So let's rip that front bit off and bring out the dragon head. And we're nearly there actually. We fold that up, then these sections we flip them back forward. You do have to move this bit out the way just to give you clearance to get them to the front. Stick that there again. So then we bring them down, and there you've got dragon feet. Now this bit of transformation is actually quite interesting. That goes back up and out of the way, like it was in robot mode. These go forward, but this, you don't see this very often. We've got a diagonal, and you pull it and go around like that. You don't see that very often on Transformers at all. So there's your dragon, pretty much. We just need to stick a tail on it. You'll notice it's got these massive gaps down the back, which does look a bit stupid. And then we've got two holes there. No, we haven't. We've got two grooves there, and they stick on top of there like that. But again, gaps all over the place, holes in it. From the front it looks alright, but these don't tab in, these legs, so they always look a little bit wonky. Try and get all four legs on the ground, might look a little bit better. But that is pretty much your dragon mode. So to take him from dragon mode, what we need to do is get rid of the tail, and then bring these back around as though we're going back to robot mode. Now we can tuck these pieces in and bring out these sections. So these are going to form the larger robot legs, and what we do here is we add these sections, and they're going to become his new feet. And from there what we do next is we bring this section down and we fold up these like that. So we're going back to jet mode, and then we flip this whole section and move that up there like that. And then we need to take these back, bring them to the top. So that's where we're going to attach the arms. On his back you'll notice there is a hole right there, and we've got something to shove up that hole, and it's this. And that's actually going to be where you can store his sword when he's in his giant robot mode. So Guard Wolf and Guard Tiger, we need to turn them into arms now, and we're not that far away really. Get rid of those arms, pop the heads down, bring them down. Now down here there was a fist. Flip that out, you can see that's the top, so that's going to be the right arm, and we're going to connect to the shoulder with that piece, so we're going to turn it that way. And the same with this guy, that's going to be this arm, So we're going to connect by that point and bring these down out of the way. Tuck his arms in, get rid of his head. Where are we? That's right, like that. So we've now got left and right arms. On the side of the body you can see we've got this little piece. This is actually quite clever because this turns round and that provides the articulation. And then we just plug in the two little pegs, which you can't see, but there you go. They lock on like that. It actually works better if you bring these bits back to an angle so you're not pushing on there. So I'll say that again, that's the bit you connect to. Let's try moving that out of the way. And that plugs in there. So you can see there, that's articulated now. And because you've lent it back a little bit, you can bring them flat and still have the arms in the right places. So now we've got this big gap we need to fill. So to fill that gap and form the head of Shadow Dagwon, we're going to take Guardhawk here and we're going to stretch him out by pulling that bit around and stretch him as far out as he'll go. So he's one big flat piece like that. Then what we're going to do, we've got these two tabs there. We move that head so it's next to those tabs. Then from there we're going to flip that up and we're actually going to bring that all down and then move this little head upwards so it's like that. So that bit's going to lock into the main robot. That's where his head's going to be, and then we just need to sort this back bit out then. So we fold that flat and then use both of the joints on there to fold that all flat up like a little backpack with wings. So then we've got these two tabs and we've got these two holes there, and what we can do then is plug them into there. It's a little bit easier without the arms on first, but never mind, there we go, that's on. Just sort his legs back out. And there you can see we've got his wings on there now. You can stretch them to full height. And that is Shadow Dagwon. So his articulation for Brave standards, it's actually not too bad. You can turn his head left and right. You can move his ears up and down. And for his arms, because of the way they're constructed, you've got articulation there. You've got a turn there. You've got a bend in the elbow. You can move the fists up and down a little bit. So quite posable. The rest of him, absolutely nothing, but for a top half that's not too bad. We can also give him his sword in there, and if we unplug this bit, she doesn't want to come out now, that's properly wedged in there. There we go. We can stick a shuriken in there and that will fit in his hand, so you can use the shuriken blaster. So for a quick size comparison, I haven't got any Braves handy, but here is Masterpiece Optimus Prime, and you can see he barely touches his shoulders. So what do I think of this guy then? Well, the problem with this guy is I bought him straight after I got Goldran, and if you've ever seen Goldran, this guy is nothing in comparison with that figure. And then I thought, yeah, I need to review him, so I got him out, took one look at it and thought, I cannot be bothered, shot it back in the box. So now a few months later, I get it back out of the box and I thought I better relearn how to transform this thing. And you know what? It's actually quite fun now. It looks hideous. It's a really cheap and nasty set. Alarm bells were ringing when I saw those spray painted shuriken that it comes with. But there's just little bits of the transformation that are actually ingenious and quite satisfying to do. So what I would say is, if you find this guy really cheap, he's actually worth picking up. So this has been Luke with the multicoloured mess that is Shadow Dagwon. Thanks for watching.